Hello everyone! What I want to share with you today is how I could write an entire book in less than 1 year while running a company, having done 2 movings, buying a house, and taking care of my 2 kids, a 2 and a 3-year-old. And in that process, without compromising my well-being, and also without compromising the time I spent with my husband and my kids. So the short answer to how I did this is that I put in place a sacred time for me to create every day, no matter what. So what does it mean, sacred time? So sacred time for me is a period of time every day, always at the same time, where I block all the external inputs and urgencies that may come in order to just sit down and create. So for me, the moment that I found over the years, like it's more helpful for me, where I feel like I'm more creative, it's early in the morning. Here we wake up at 4 a.m. every day. So what I do is when I wake up at 4 a.m., from 4 to 5, I do my morning routine, which is like very simple. It's like a very gentle yoga sequence, and then I sit down and meditate. Sometimes it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then at 5 or 5:30 sometimes, I sit down and till 7 a.m. I'm in my sacred time. And what I do at that moment is I create. The period of time where I dedicated like every single day for 1 year, actually was like 10 months, where I developed this book, where I wrote this book. So what is so interesting about that is like when we came up with this idea of the sacred time, Mark and I, when we were in COVID. Because as everybody else in the world, we had kids at home. At that moment, they were 1 and 2, so they required like a lot of time from us. So during the day, we were like stuck in doing operations, and we were like working 4 hours, and the other one was taking care of the kids, and then I was like working, and the other one taking care. So we were like taking turns. It was like maybe a month doing that we kind of felt like, hey, we are like stuck in operations and we need to get together and have like creative time together, like maybe 2 hours or 3 hours together to create, because if not, the company is gonna get stuck and we're not gonna grow. So that's when we kind of saw, hey, okay, we have little babies, 1 and 2-year-old, they go to bed at around 8 in the evening. So why don't we go to bed at that time, and then we wake up at 8 hours sleeps is at 4 a.m. We still have like plenty of time because they're gonna be sleeping theoretically till 8 a.m. right, every day. So we said, hey, let's try it, because COVID was like a big thing for everybody, right? And we had to find ways. We were forced to find ways. So that was the way that we found it was more useful for us. So we started implementing this habit of waking up earlier. It was like, well, maybe 2 hours before we used to wake up. So we said, okay, let's wake up at 4 a.m. and from 4 a.m. till 8 or 7, we have like 3-4 hours every day where we can get together and we can create and we can like implement new ideas and programs and whatever it is that we want to do for the company to grow. It worked like really, really well, and it was during COVID. It served us like a lot. But when everything went back like kind of normal and kids went back to daycare, and it was like, okay, we were like restructuring again and doing like the normal schedule in our days, we didn't really want to stop this sacred time thing that we created, because we saw that early in the mornings it really worked well for us because we felt very creative together. But we thought at that point, okay, we can, now that kids are in the daycare, we can spend time together during the day, the work day kind of thing. Like in the middle of the day, we can like sit down and talk and plan and all that. So why don't we keep the habit of waking up at 4 a.m., but instead of getting together, every one of us like sits down on their own, and then we decide what to do with that time. Maybe it's creative time, and sometimes it's more about learning new things, new skills, or maybe it's just sit down and read whatever is it that you want to read. That's what we kept. We kept that time, right? Like these 2-3 hours in the morning to create. What is really interesting about habits, once you implement a habit in your life, maybe like this one, it can be like small change. In your case, maybe it can be, I'm gonna wake up just 1 hour before, or maybe for you it's at the end of the day, and that's okay. Before I go to bed, I'm gonna dedicate like 1 hour to do blah, whatever it is for you that you wanna do. The thing is that it really helps us to understand the importance of having a time for yourself. So that's why we kept it. We kept the habit of waking up at 4 a.m. Even now we're not with these restrictions of COVID thing. Due to that situation, we ended up putting in place a habit that has had an incremental change in our lives. It changed my life and my career because thanks to implementing that habit of taking care of my creative part, my creative mind, my creative projects, whatever it is, thanks to that, I could write an entire book in less than 1 year. And what it's more important is that right now, for example, I'm using that period of time in my day to create other things. Like, for example, right now I'm writing emails to our list about self-development and mindset and growth and all that. And then I'm also doing these videos. Sometimes I record them in the morning, sometimes it's in the afternoon. But it's like in the morning, it's like the creative moment when I mostly create like the script and all that. So what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter if it's in the morning, in the middle of the day, or it's at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. But what is the key thing here is implementing a habit that may entail like 1 hour or 2 hours a day, or maybe 30 minutes, it doesn't matter, to dedicate to yourself, to something that makes you feel happy and fulfilled. It really has a ripple effect in everything else you do in your life. And I know that this firsthand because during this book, when I was doing this book, I felt like really in the flow. And sometimes, of course, I had blockages and I didn't know how to continue and all that. Of course, that's part of the creative process. But in general, I really felt like I was like, I don't know, working on purpose. I was like moving forward. I knew that, right? So waking up in the morning every day and sitting down in my desk right here and writing down whatever it was, what mattered is like I was using that sacred time for me and myself and my ideas. I just wanted to share this experience because right now in our company, we are running a high-level mentorship program, which is called Momentum. And I see this story that comes a lot of times because people are like, okay, we have a lot of things to do in this program. It's like very demanding because you are supposed to grow a lot, right? You have to do a lot of assignments and challenges every single week. So it requires from you like an extra effort, right? And some people were like, I don't know where to put the hours and I don't know how to do this. And because I'm not spending as much time with my family now, blah, blah, blah. So it's like all these kind of things. And I was like, hey, what could work for you guys is put in place this sacred time. It doesn't really mean that you are gonna disrupt anything else with this. You can like implement this small habit and dedicate into the program like just 1 hour a day, every single day in the week. So you have like these 7 hours, and maybe if it's 2, you have like the 14 hours, right, that you could be dedicating to the program, and that way you can grow and evolve. So anyways, so what I want to say is that if you have like projects that you want to do and it's you need like time to be with yourself and create and stop the external world, I think maybe this tip of creating this sacred time in your daily routine may work. So I hope this was of help, and if so, please hit subscribe to the channel that we are now starting. And that's it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.